It's my mic.
Should be dead,
Oh,
I
there it
think.
is.
Big ass damage. Wow. 5S? Why would you 5S there? At Loranda. Oh, what a drop. What a drop.
Squarespace has helped
That's it.
grow my business.
Oh, what? Damn, he would just super dash at me there. Is this guy serious?
I think my creativeness
This guy's
has been
serious?
down quite a lot. He's getting back, man.
Oh, good job, bruh. Good job, bruh. Be random, bruh.
Finally not a Pikendenden won't get smoked.
Oh, he mashed! He mashed and we clashed on the Ki Blast! Oh my god. How do you mash on the Ki Blast there? What is he doing? Lord. Oh, I thought I escaped that. One Ki Blast, instantly super dashes. Damn, I f***ed up. I did. I noticed that on the PS5, I get that instead of jump back Ki Blast, I get the grab by accident. Shaking my head, bruh. The mash is impeccable, bruh. He's actually beating Piccolo Assist by just mashing at the bottom. Counter, by the way. What a madman, bruh.
The most rewarding part of all, though, is that
Counter again, by the way. What is good with this guy, bro? he adapted. Nice adaptation, bro.
Oh my gosh, so
I knew he was gonna
good.
punish. Oh, I thought that was gonna cross me up. Should I just be every time I see that I should just mash 2H, I think. I wanna see his inputs. I'm about to check his inputs right now. He's like, bro, what the f? This guy just mashes. This is the type of people that go to Reddit and be like, bro, all people do on Dragon Ball is mash Super Dash. These are the same guys, bro. He gonna go right on Reddit like, yo, this game is garbage. This shit got no footsies. All people do is mash Super Dash. It's nuts, bro.
Just me.
Uh oh, this doesn't work. He might get hit though. He might get hit by it though. The resets. What the f, bro? What is this?
You want me to talk about when I come home at night and my sons ask me what I did today? I actually say, well, I had a meeting to talk about, what are the core...
Why? Why do you get on this game to play like this, man?
I'm not very good with the medieval stuff, am
Why does
I?
he think this works? Why does he think this is Nooch? I don't get it, bruh. Should we watch? Let's watch what his inputs are, man. That shit is crazy. I can't believe somebody exists that plays like that. This shit is actually sad as hell. Let me see. Let me see his buttons, man. It's time to see them buttons. Alright, let me see, bruh. Let's watch. Wait, which match was it when he just kept mashing? I think it was this one. Alright, let's see what this man talking about, bruh. Oh my god. L. What a guy, man. Why is he hitting corner L, bro? What the hell is corner L? Oh my god. Down 2H, by the way. He literally is out of his mind. I don't know what's going through that fella's mind, but this fella bugging the fuck out, bro. That's for sure. But remember, always remember, bruh, fellas like that are the ones that complain on Twitter.
Brain damned, by the way.
#15 edition, where Kyo's Little Monsters can be playing level 1 all Royal Arms plus Omega on the Royal Edition. It's going to be quite a lot of fun. Before we jump too much into the Final Fantasy 15 side of things, just a few quick announcements for Hotfix. Just as a quick reminder that all of GDQ's portion of subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming, and bits cheered on GDQ Twitch channel for the entire month of January, minus taxes, will be donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So if you have your Prime Gaming sub came up after a GDQ, you can still toss that in towards GDQ, and it'll still be going towards a great cause. If you haven't seen GDQ Hotfix before, it's just a series of shows that happen here every week on Games Done Quick. You can find more information at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. If you're watching on YouTube, watching our VODs there, you can check us out at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you missed any of the runs from HDQ 2021, those are all going to be heading up onto our YouTube. I think the last couple videos with better quality are going up because some of the YouTube videos were less quality than what we would have liked, so we've been replacing them with higher quality videos. And of course, all of our hotfix runs are archived there as well. But besides all of that, make sure you tune in tomorrow for, I think it's RNG? Yes, random number generation. It is still at its new time slot. This is pretty recent, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern instead of 7:30. But now that we've got all those announcements out of the way, Kios, Alfina, how are you both doing today?
It Monday.
I'm doing great.
The only thing I can talk about today is stonks.
Stonks?
Stonks.
So why don't you give a quick explanation of this category for people who are not familiar, they haven't seen this one, only have passing familiarity of Final Fantasy 15?
So this is a category that I basically designed as a challenge category / I need to push for partner a couple years ago, but I needed
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the
4 months straight at this point. And you know, it's the final day. We're flying home. I'm tired. We take a red-eye flight from Salt Lake City, Utah to Phoenix, Arizona, overnight back into Philly. Our flight's delayed. Everything's hung up. I'm going to be late to work. Get out of the airplane. First song that is playing, Benny Hill, Stand By Me, at like 7:15 in the morning in Philadelphia after not sleeping for like 24 hours. It was horrible. It was horrible, dude. I've never been trolled in real life that hard.
Let me know when I can switch the audio back.
We're getting there.
Pretty darn close. You're good.
All right. I was playing Daytona for Kios since...
perfect, dude.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
I started with the rolling start and then went into Daytona.
I should probably pull my notes up instead of just scrolling Twitter. That would be a little bit more helpful.
Quite possibly. We are already getting the question of what all is different in Royal Edition. Do you want to talk on that?
If you want to go over it, yeah, because I'll do the menuing and then I'll explain what weirdness I have going on here.
Okay. So some of the major things that were added in with Royal Edition, besides there were new weapons, new recipes, and things like that, it also added in basically Insomnia. Insomnia was very, very quick boss rush originally in the main game. With the Royal Edition patch, it is a whole zone and it's explorable and there are so many more things to do. And a lot more storylines, especially with the hunters that we talk about happening towards the end of the game.
Yeah, sort of fleshed out the end of the game because it was a little bit quick and anticlimactic in the original edition.
Exactly, and it throughout with the new weapons and the new recipes and things like that, it also kind of helped with different areas where maybe it was hard to get like the right weapon for certain pieces or certain weapons that were behind. The better weapon would be behind doing like the boys DLC stories, so it kind of makes it a lot better.
Wow, they got a lot of different.
I just accidentally crushed my own timer. Oops.
Crushed your own timer?
Yeah, accidentally reset. It's fine.
Okay.
Looks like you're the accurate clock now, buddy. Also, you made me mess up my menu.
He's just grabbed one of the most valuable items in the game, and who knew it was hiding on top of a rock right there at the start.
Ooh, this is bad.
Which one are you referring to?
The Mega Elixir.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just right there at the top of a rock, right at the start of the game. Just right there. Easy to get to.
Yeah, so this is one of the new things I started doing. Because chapter 1, I actually just whatever. The biggest difficulty in this run is actually AP, having AP for the skills I need. And as it turns out, spending what ends up being about 30-40 seconds early in the game here to do these 3 strategies gives me enough to give me literally half of the abilities I need for the entire run. And there's really, honestly, no way faster to do it. So it does look kind of silly, like, wow, a speed run and you're standing around, and it still feels silly to me, but in the end it actually turns out to be faster. The armor we're currently wearing is the Magitech Exosuit. It was added in patch 1.13. It is a item that makes you invulnerable, which is cool. That doesn't really bother me because I don't get hit. But what the main thing it does is it allows us to be uninterrupted. So I don't use it to cheese the fact that, oh, I can't take damage, because it really doesn't bother me. We'll take a lot of damage in these fights, don't worry. But it just makes things more consistent. It does not last forever, however. You get, I believe it's about 20 minutes in-game. That is literally all that you get. So we're going to be using it very strategically. The goal of our outfits is to actually get as much damage out as possible. There are 2 outfits you'll see me using. One of them basically, well, 3 main outfits. One of them will boost magic damage, one of them will boost our crit rate, and the other one will reboost MP regeneration.
And when we say 20 minutes, we do mean 20 minutes of combat.
Yeah, 20 minutes of combat.
All the time spent outside of combat does not count into that 20 minutes. It's just the 20 minutes actively fighting things, and you can hear the music change to know whether or not you're in combat. And your back glows when you're in the suit.
What are the other big things? The other inevitable question that will be asked is, why are you jumping? I really wish we didn't have to, because I'm going to sit here and mash the X button for about 5.5 hours straight in a nice little rhythm. But as it turns out, jumping is about 10% faster than running in this game.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's an armor set that's designed so you can run indefinitely, like sprint without running out of stamina, and it's slower than jumping.
Yeah. What I think is bad game design on this game, and it's one of the only major things that I critique, and from what I hear, different if you're not playing the North American release, but it's the fact that the jump button and the interact button are the same thing.
Correct.
And it is regularly a nightmare. Because you'll go to interact with something and you'll just jump on it.
Yeah,
like,
I have that problem.
Or
It's
you'll be
so
trying to
annoying.
jump along, and then you'll suddenly like stop and grab an item. It's like,
When you go
well,
to
that's
grab
not
it,
what I
yeah.
meant to do.
It's like when you go to grab an item, it's just
There's
like
a similar
it
issue
just
that
jumps, and
happened
you're like, I want to grab the item. It's like, I want to grab the
Super Mario
item.
Odyssey.
Item. It's
Yep.
so annoying.
We had 100%, or not, I thought it was all moons, not 100%.
How
on
can
the
I
show
do the
once.
goddamn perspective
And
here?
when, at the end, when you're talking to Toadette to get your kingdom moons, you can throw a cap on accident instead of talking to her if you mash too quickly.
Yep.
Why speedrun this game if I have to mash for 6 hours? Generally because I dislike myself. Actually,
Because
no. This game is actually really fun, and it's actually not that strenuous. It's one of those things like if you talk to people who speedrun Final Fantasy X, especially for long periods of time, they have this issue called that I refer to as Final Fantasy X mashing. Whenever you're not doing anything or like not paying attention, you just kind of complacently mash the X button, even though it really doesn't do anything. But it's just a thing that you do. It's really not that bad, to be honest. I would recommend this game whether you think it's strenuous or not as a speedrun. It's super comfy.
What am I gonna do with this?
I feel like the idly mashing is
Not
just
very
an
good at
RPG thing in
perspectives,
general.
aren't I?
To be honest, it really is. Let's see if we get Ignis skip. This will probably be the first pass-fail skip of the night. I'm not feeling it right now. No, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, you got it.
We got it.
With the mashing as well, is it's not so much that it's like, not like when you're trying to get through text boxes really fast and you're spamming it as fast as possible, mashing. It's a nice kind of rhythmic thing, and so like for me as a musician, I love the jumping because
absolutely.
The thing is,
just
I don't want to do it in 3D.
It
I
kinda
don't want to do
helps me,
like,
like, recenter my thoughts a lot of the times when I'm going through
a
it because
template in
it's
3D
just
because
very,
it just
very
takes
rhythmic
longer. It takes a
movement.
lot of time.
My favorite thing is that it's
I just wanna
roughly
know how to
around
do it.
110 BPM, which
quicker-
is
it's
Moombahton,
quicker doing it
and
that
I
way.
love me some Latin influenced electronic dance music.
The other nice thing from when I was playing around with it, when I saw this as a thing and I was just started seeing how it worked, is there's a little bit of a buffer on the jump. You can jump very slightly before Noctis lands and it still works.
Yep.
So you don't have to actually time it perfectly, which is always nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Not in trouble
and
yet.
I'm seeing the question in chat, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it. A lot of the skips in this game that we have are actually, we know we got it when nothing happens.
Yeah, I was supposed to be interrupted by Ignis to like grab me on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, did you know you can camp in this game and make food? It's sponsored by Coleman." But because basically the movement and the pathing that I took, Ignis ends up getting hooked on the fence and doesn't stop you. He can, however, warp to get you. The biggest issue is there's realistically only one skip in the run that's like 100% works every time. And
Stop
even
saying
then,
that.
I am the one that has proved that wrong.
You're the one that should not be saying that.
I feel like at this
Seaside
point,
Supermodels
Kyo's
is
is
a
trying to
scourge on
like
society.
reverse caster curse himself. Like if he jinxes it hard enough, it'll work again.
The only one I'm worried about is Mind Flayer skip in Chapter 3, and if we don't get it, realistically, I'll just do the fight because it just kind of doesn't matter. I have a backup, but it's not great.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
honestly,
Rocco, this
with-
game has come a very, very long way. Square Enix, who's known for literally, and I love Square Enix. 90% of my stream is Square Enix titles. They are notorious for like not fixing stuff or just kind of ignoring problems. And they did the exact opposite with this game. They patched this game for like 3-4 years straight.
So I already
Yeah.
put it in the trunk. There should be
Um,
a hotel on your way to
But yeah, so
Walden.
it's just kind of a beautiful thing that like a lot of skips that you see in a lot of games, you can kind of, you're aware that something should have happened, versus this game, a lot of them, it's not going to feel like anything should have happened at all.
Would you care to take her for a little test drive?
It's really kind of a neat, from the speedrunning point of view.
Sure, why not? And I needn't remind you to exercise.
Except for one, there's one that you're definitely aware there's supposed to be something there.
Yep, we'll get to that one. All right, we're gonna listen to music, and it's gonna be Nier Automata because that's also the best Final Fantasy of all time. Actually, we're gonna go with Replicant. Also, I'm just gonna sell all the
Wow.
things.
I'm almost impressed.
Nier Automata comes on next, and then we'll do Blinded by Light for Sharky.
So I'm
Yo.
guessing you're a big fan of the Final Fantasy Nier Automata crossover that happened in 14. Then.
Kyo does not play MMOs.
I am legally not allowed to.
Oh,
my freshman year in college, I slept every other night and was one of the top-ranked non-paid players of Fiesta, which is really cool. It got me literally $0 and a whopping 1.6 GPA, and had to appeal getting thrown out of college. So I decided that I should stop playing MMOs because I have an addictive personality, and yeah, haven't
That's
touched
reasonable.
I, however, play a lot of 14, and I love the near crossover raids.
I love that on April 23rd, this game is getting a remaster, whatever
Really?
Yoko Taro is giving us. Yeah, Nier Replicant.
Oh,
It's,
the song that's playing right now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. If you've not played it, I'd recommend it. The music is just as good, if not as good as Automata. The new gameplay looks super smooth, which is nice because the only really complaint I have about the PS3 version is, yeah, the gameplay can be a little clunky.
And it's, Replicant is Brother Nier or Father Nier?
Brother Nier.
Okay.
Brother Nier. Although they did say if they sold, I think, as half as many units as Nier Automata within the first month, they'd offer some sort of way to add Papa Nier to the game.
I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know how Yoko Taro is. So Yoko Taro is very strange. He'll just say stuff on the internet, and then it becomes like, canonically true. Square Enix, as much as they like, definitely get into rows with him about certain things, just kind of like do what he asks anyway, which is so weird because they threatened to fire him and cancel Nier Automata like 3 times during its production.
Hey, really?
Because they know it wouldn't get them as anywhere.
I feel like
They're
he's a
better
little
off
bit
with it on their
untouchable at this
title.
point.
That's crazy.
He exists
Not
on a
completely.
different plane of existence. Look, I just way through all of Drakengard, and I just wrapped Drakengard 1. And
So about that final boss in Drakengard.
that final boss, yeah, that's a thing. It really has no place in the video game whatsoever. Like at all, dude. It's just like, here's the final boss. It's like final, and all of a sudden you get to the end, and it's like, all right, cool, you have to fight Master Crazy Hand with the GameCube, and you have no way to plug it into your final, whichever console you're playing final. Good luck, here you go, you got it.
I'm enjoying how much this has turned into time in the car.
I don't have anything really good yet because like the
Yeah.
I've basically routed the game so it's really similar to any percent, so not mess these up too much. Only crossover, yeah, but don't worry about 2E.
Look, I need to just pull the cover.
Yeah, 49 is good. I'm where I need to be. So I'm gonna do here. This is a setup I think was initially by one of the JP runners, and only works for. I'm very particular about that stuff. Is we eventually coming. I just looked over to check like how I'm doing, and it feels bad. So when y'all
1857.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
I did start it like 2 seconds early because of the fake out.
No, that's like
No, we're
actually
good.
really good.
We're happy about this right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that puts me 30 seconds ahead of PB already. I mean, my chapter 1 PB was garbage cans, but
Dumpster fires?
Persona 5 is save a cat. Hey, look, sometimes you must attack and dethrone God. In a nice way.
Worst you had to worry about was waking the neighbors.
Never played Nier Automata. The raids are really good. So here's the interesting part: the Final Fantasy XIV Nier raids are canonical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoko Taro's like, yeah, it's true.
Would you like to go into why that was only available on PS?
So what we're going to be doing is we have to go meet this guy, and impersonation that I do because it is horribly inappropriate for this channel. But I have a good couple of lines. I'll see if I can think of something really quick.
Real quick, what you should know from the guy that we're about to go meet is blackmail is wrong, children.
Yeah, what we're about to see is a felony in progress. This is not also highly illegal. PS4 Pro is not. It's not faster than PC. The main reason to like just be super short about it is PC uses load remover. And the only reason I don't run this on PC is just because the way the game is optimized, it would
a nice change of pace.
It's not my computer couldn't run it. The other thing is I just don't want to stare at my computer screen that long. I'd rather stare at the larger, comfier TV. I don't ask me why. I'm just really weird. I've been doing this run in this game for 3-4 years now, so I'm a stodgy old man. I'm 30.
I don't mind if it's. I mean, I don't have to have it like perfectly
for you, then it's
100%
comfy.
perfect, but you know, it's just got to be somewhat.
Paolo, it's
you know,
like
good.
just obnoxious accent that was obviously contrived and faked.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, but it works. Dude, yeah, I gotta hop on the ferry. So the moral of the story is we're almost done with the run. Basically, what we're supposed to do in this game is get on a boat, go fishing, go get married. Easy life, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, nothing.
Super fine.
Nothing is going to go wrong at all. Wait a minute, the ship's not there. Goes.
Yeah. What do you mean? I stole the ships because I'm a pirate. Dino here with these fancy concrete boots. I'm like the Tanaka of Final Fantasy 15, except I don't have anything you actually want. I basically just tell you to do stuff. He kind of sounds like a bad version of Meowth.
If you want to remain incognito,
He actually kind of does. I never thought about
I don't,
that.
dude, I've been thinking about that for months, but I've just never said it out loud. And the more I listen to myself making fun of him, the more I'm like, we gonna catch that Pikachu.
Someone in chat's pointing out that it's also a little bit Joey Wheeler, which, yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah. It's so, it's like there's so many things, like, realistically, like, objectively, I could rag on the game, like, dude, this is a horrible caricature, this is awful, like, this is so bad, but at the same point, like, it's so weird that it just kind of fits. Kind of like we mentioned it earlier, like, I mentioned it with the Coleman camping equipment. Like, it's a very obvious and blatant, like, product placement. But, like, it just kind of fits. And it's like, I can't get mad that they're doing it, despite how I feel about product placement and everything, when it just kind of fits.
Looks like you missed your boat, Yug.
Yeah, he looks like, hey, it's time to duel. So what we have here now is Dino has sent us on a quest. He's like, hey, I promise I'll get you a boat. I'll get you a boat that isn't attached to concrete, shoes, or an anchor. All you got to do is get some gemstones. Well, as it turns out, where I stopped earlier to grab that elemental magic component, well, it's right across the bridge from where I need to go. And because I have a solid-state drive installed on my PS4, it actually makes sense for me to camp there, as opposed to parking the car and doing, well, basically driving back and forth. The regular, I don't want to disassemble my PS4 and use 5 screws route, has you actually turning around and driving back and then parking before that and scaling the cliff.
I feel attacked with the comment about I don't want to disassemble my PS4.
Look, according to the cube rule, a plate of spaghetti is a salad. Do what you will with this information.
And you wondered why my status in Discord is what it is.
Yeah. To be fair,
I was prepared for today.
Product placement will be a thing that we'll probably see more prominently in video games, especially post, you know, kind of the circumstances we've been in globally the past year. Video game sales and support of esports is tremendously on the rise.
Yeah, I mean, it's already existed to a certain extent, pretty widely. Like, how many games is there just a certain cola beverage in a character's hand, you know?
Yep. I'm not a fan of it, but I think Fortnite's like they when organizers and game devs do like their tournaments for the stuff they tend to release, I think the total prize pool for like Fortnite competitions, like officially hosted ones this year, is something around like $20 million.
Yeah,
which is absurd for esports. Like, this was 2 years ago, people were laughing at it. Like, my city's actually getting an esports arena across from.
It's crazy, isn't it? I remember like everyone laughed about esports. I thought it was a joke, and people are getting loads of sponsors and loads of money from
the
it.
football
Like,
field,
freaking, like,
the baseball field,
it's crazy.
and the hockey rink.
It's crazy
and
how
then a
like
place called Xfinity Live,
everyone
which is
just
like
laughs
a
at
giant,
it. You
tremendous
see it
sports
becoming
bar
like one of the biggest
small
things
concert
going.
venue in like 4 corners across the main thoroughfare through the street, and across from the Xfinity Center, they're
Everyone
putting in
laughed
an
at games
esports
becoming
arena,
a serious thing.
and like a full-size one.
Yeah, those have been popping up more around the country.
Yeah, not just like a cyber cafe or like a little gaming hut. Like buy tickets, go to an event, like the stuff you see for like the majors and the Overwatch tournament type stuff.
Yeah, I used to live in Columbus, and their NHL arena used to get regularly rented out for.
Yep.
Like they had a CS:GO major there.
Yeah, and it's people joke about it, and then they realize how much like money and investment and sponsorship is tied into it, and the viewership. I mean, just this past year, I think the world record for concurrent views on a Twitch stream was set 3 times, and I think it changed hands twice in the past 2 weeks. Both of them, I think, were CS:GO related.
One of them was an actual individual streamer, though.
Yeah,
a Fortnite content creator got his his thing revealed, and he broke the overall record.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, I'm not like a Fortnite fan, but it's really cool. Like, it's actually really, really cool to see that kind of like excitement and, you know, a little bit of plausibility and reality injected into the platform. So anyway, bad things happened. Our home just got blowed up, and our dad's dead. It's not good.
And now we gotta go.
And it's raining.
It's time to be sad boy now.
Now we gotta go check it out.
It's raining to emphasis the sad.
Here,
the sad boy.
Here, I make myself sad. Very, very sad. So sad.
Gosh.
Yeah, we were just trying to go get married, and then our home got invaded, and our dad died.
Look, all I want to do is go fishing. If you've never tried the fishing in this game, boy, is it fun. There's a VR version of it too.
There's a VR version of it now?
Yeah,
there
it's
is.
been out
No,
there
it's
a
a
while.
whole extra game.
Oh my god.
It's actually worth looking into. I make fun of it a lot. But then again, I make fun of basically all fishing simulator games, so it's not like it's alone. It's just go actually fish if you're gonna do a fishing simulator. That's fine. But it is actually pretty well developed.
So yeah, we're getting to the actual gameplay here pretty shortly.
We're getting to actual story. Finally.
Let's make a detour.
Sorry, side conversation.
we're gonna.
I'm in the middle of disciplining my ferret for her poor behavior.
Oh, did she poo in the wrong place again?
Pooing in the wrong place.
There they are.
Anyway, when chat gets bored of just me gabbing about stuff, I can talk about the game, I guess.
Yeah, have we actually explained your sword teleport thing at all?
So this is all magic. Part of Noctis being of the royal line of the Luci is he basically is a giant treasure chest. Which is he has the ability to basically store everyone's weapons, and he can use his magic to kind of teleport himself around. Don't talk about the game. First rule of Final Fantasy 15, don't talk about Final Fantasy 15. Second rule of Final Fantasy 15, don't talk about Final Fantasy 15. But yeah, so we have the ability to kind of teleport strike, which is really handy. You'll see that a lot for movement. There will be jumping and warp striking. You will actually see some running in this game. It's not going to be very common, but
it does exist.
I think the story explanation is that he can, like, since he can summon his sword, he can also teleport to his sword. So he just throws it and just teleports to it.
The interesting thing that I haven't figured out, and I was thinking about it today for whatever reason, I had a very hectic work day and was trying to get some practice done in the middle of working. Theoretically, if the regalia, which already handles poorly, you know, when Nocta's in it, he can, you know, summon things because he's basically an item shop, or the car is an item shop.
Yeah.
It realistically could have infinite weight and mass. It could become a black hole.
And what about us?
What
do we do?
We make for Hammerhead now and figure the rest out later.
I thought you were going in a different direction with that.
Nope.
I thought you were going to mention that, you know, since the regalia, you know, cars are essentially moving vehicles that are several tons, they can be weapons. So realistically, he could summon the regalia.
It's bulletproof. It can fly, and its only weakness is barrels. So you can't put this car anywhere near Rosalind Stout from Atelier Ryza or any of the Atelier girls. Otherwise, it's just a disaster in the making.
The game also disproves the ability to summon the regalia.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
I play it in English so people can understand it, and I don't play it in German because it's about 2 minutes slower.
Wait, German's slower?
German's slower.
Yes.
German words
French
are
is
longer.
also
French is slow.
Play the
yes,
German
but
version
it's
is
only
2
about a
minutes
minute
slower.
to a minute and a half slower. Versus the
Wow.
German is just it is slow.
It's very much slower. Shout out to the German audience, though. We got some good German boys in the chat.
I'm gonna commit crime. So why are you eating food?
So I'm eating food here because normally we're like level 10 already, and I have basically one fight where I need to have pretty decent damage, and I don't have it because I'm level 1. Like my stats are already about roughly 100 points short of where they should be, and for the 15-20 seconds it takes to go get food, it actually saves the amount of time that I would lose in the fight.
And
So we're
food
back
is
at the car.
Food is like buffs, right? Like it depends on what food you eat.
Yes, food.
Yeah.
You can actually carry around a lot of buffs. So I don't remember the specifics, but I can tell just by the icons. The Lighten Jambalaya that I ate increases our attack, I want to say, by 70 or 100. Our
70.
health by, I want to say, 700, and our HP regen.
Yep.
Food's going to be very important to this run. You'll also see a lot of potential for single-digit HP strats and double-digit HP strats in this game. Some of them including without the armor. I actually used to do... I don't do Ifrit anymore. Like I said, it's like for some reason if I finish earlier or whatever, I can try and do Ifrit with without it. But I do the Ifrit fight with no protection whatsoever. It's literally just glass cannon strats and perfect timing. Anyway, I hope you like off-roading in a sandstorm. There's a lot of weird driving strats. Like people, we've already talked about it. I've joked about it. Oh, it's a driving simulator, boy band simulator. If you actively drive the car and manipulate its route, you can save up to, I believe, 40 seconds over the total amount of the 90% run, and for this category.
Yeah.
The actual simulator.
No, it's literally just it in the
'Cause I
most
know-
efficient way. As a race fan, you got to hit those apex and accelerate out of the corner.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So anyway, that little so going the other direction actually saves about 2 seconds in the actual drive. The movement out that we need to do saves us about another 2 to get to Monaco when we return. We're gonna go meet one of the coolest people in the universe. His name, of course, is Immortal. He's actually not immortal. He's just the head of the Hunters. He is, man. If I even grow up and be a real boy, whew. He does have they're basically going to introduce us to one of the components of this run, of Royal Arms to us. The first component of this run is that I have to get all the Royal Arms. Why did I? It just makes this. There are some pretty difficult dungeons, and the later, the more difficult they get, isn't going to be level 1 the entire time. Costomark. I know a lot of people have had trouble with Costomark. And I will spoil it. There's actually a lot of tech that goes on in Costomark, and the thing is, I have to add on what my money looks like.
Yep.
Reliant might be one of the coolest people on the university list I made you, or am I still waiting on that? Also, I have to print your cube, please, Lord to finish. Yeah, this is a good guy. Yeah, the other question that I think I just saw someone answer something that made me think the DLC in this run, which is very, very weird for a comp can understand that. The real reason we do it is because we didn't want to make a bunch of separate categories. Because the PC release of this game came with Royal Edition, but also with like some DLC. So we said that for Royal Edition, we'll run it the same with everything that PC gets. So it's comparable, even, and if people see for PS4, they can get the entire game for $20 on Steam when it's on Steam like half the year.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, it was really awkward and hot on it. It's like I use Ragnarok is going to be my main source of damage. Really incredibly high damage. But for a while, we didn't use it.
Well, 'cause for compared to Royal Edition, wasn't
Royal Arms Trident of the Oracle, which is the highest DPS. Despite what that dude on YouTube told me I was wrong. Like, I haven't spent 2,000 hours playing this video game. Oh, sorry. I forgot to put on my snarky face.
Don't worry, you put on your snarky voice.
Yeah, it's all right. I have a face to match. I also, as my dad says, I have a face that only he could love on. I don't know what that means, but my dad's pretty cool. He might be.
Your dad to show up and make a comment.
I might have to text him the link. Yeah, my dad's on this year, which is super cool. That's been one of the cool chronicles of my past. Is my dad kind of just being like getting into Twitch and then like acting with my chat and then like realizing all sorts of cool stuff. My dad bought himself a laptop, knows how to use that, and just has internet and stream television. Not bad for something. No. Sorry, I'm having a moment here. I changed.
All claiming to be his dad.
You're not my dad. Sorry, this is a very poor man. I realized I could save like 2 seconds today when I was setting this up and didn't actually write down what I was supposed to do and haven't had it. This is Arachne. This is the real reason why we grabbed the food buff. Harry. She can be really tricky. Even with Ragnarok, you'd only be getting half the damage output. So it ends up being worth it. Good. Keep pushing away from me. Ooh, I'll take it. Perfect.
I'm enjoying the community members like.
There we go. That was weird. I definitely hit her, got haptic feedback on the controller, and then my dad just texted me. He's probably yelling at me. What are you talking about me on the internet for?
Should I text your dad? And
Dad's
what's
number?
going on? Should.
Yeah, sure, you might. I have to send him the link quick while we go through this.
So Noct borrows the old king's powers.
Twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. Perfect.
You're sending him the link?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I found his number. I was about to pull it up.
I just missed it. So there's an interesting thing I haven't touched on, and probably goes pretty completely unnoticed unless you're a runner of this game. It does have something that I like to refer to as black screen movement. So you can move while the screen is loading in. The best emphasis or comparison I can give is Parasite Eve. I used to run that, and if you're that speed run, you can save almost 2-3 minutes if you start moving screen loads over the entire run.
Yeah.
I went.
There's a lot of games actually where you control very slightly early.
Yep. So with
Sometimes they get in the wrong spot though, so you can end up going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Not common.
With that area, 85, I think. With that one, sometimes you can hit the warp strike and it'll actually through the loading screen, and it just hilarity ensues. The camera angle's all wrong, and you end up saving a couple of seconds.
Is that why the cutscene started with like the camera zoomed through Noctis's shoulder?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think everyone's like waiting for your dad to show up in chat now.
I sent him the link.
The whole thing happening now.
I just have to remind him to not talk about politics, and we should be fine.
Oh, no, good idea, yeah.
Alright, so what I just did there is made magic. Magic's pretty cool in this game. You might notice that I used it already, and it was pretty cool. It did some damage, it was a good time. Yep, there's my dad. Hi, Dad. So what this game has a very interesting take on magic. If you've not used this before, basically magic is on a cooldown. You can only use it once every 30 seconds unless you get excuse me, unless you get a special type of magic. And the reason behind it is this magic can be very, very broken early. For the any percent run, we enter chapter 2 at level 10, and the magic that I'm using is still doing max damage well into chapter 5. It literally only costs 900 gil to make.
The own like crafting thing that I never fully understood.
Basically, it works on kind of like a sliding table is like the best. With the more you put it, the more power it gains, and you add in items, each of which has its effect. Like I use sheep's milk, which we can buy very easily. Superior restorative muscle stim. Okay, I'll take 1 muscle stim. I'm mainly looking for Magitech boosters here. And I got tripped up and will lose 5 seconds to this cutscene not triggering properly. It happens. It just happens.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody who wants to claim to be your dad, he's saying I'll pay your bills.
Yeah. Right. Good luck. Cheap. Ask my wife. 1 Magitech booster, 2 muscle stim. Looking to kind of do some interesting stuff in chapter 5. Pretty flawless combat there. But yeah,
actually.
You spend 999 sheep's milk, and it gives you basically over 200 potency dual cast, and you get 6 of them, which is insanely powerful magic to have this in the game. The only thing I'm worrying about is magic for chapter 6, but at this point its minimum is 185 for air and so we should be okay with 2 warp strikes in case you can push a crit.
Sounds like okay.
Right on your end? Right, as couldn't take their eyes off us. Thanks to you, we were spared their attention.
Yeah, Gravisphere is super cool. There's so many different builds. So many different builds. And to be honest, I saw someone complaining if this run isn't 10 minutes or less, I'm leaving. The fastest run, which I think is, as far as I know, has only been done by JP runners, because us English runners haven't been able to figure it out yet. Game plus, and in 25 minutes that involves you out of combat in chapter 1 and basically flying your way into Insomnia from Hammerhead, and from there to the top of the tower and behind it, and then fighting the main boss. It's supposed to be a really, really terrible, hard fight. I'm gonna beat him in about maybe.
He's
one of those people that wields his weakness right in front of us.
There is a trick though, as much as you're saying that roll spot that's really, really easy to get to. If we were to go out and attack it
I'm so tired,
relentlessly, because you see Aoki's individuals hit, if we did it relentlessly, you would actually damage it so fast that it would cause it to fall off before he died. And all their damage allows it to be able to the entire. It's really cool.
So is it like has its own like health when you apart iframes on his overall health bar sort of? So like you could break the part before he dies?
What the game tries to tell you to do is use two-handed sword to break legs, because that's pretty much what you do for most of them. It pretty much almost explicitly tells you aim for the legs. But the missile launcher as well. Yeah. It's pretty much a guaranteed break. I've never had it not work with any. I think it's missed with the air step sword maybe, but that's neither here nor.
So hey, we're on
chapter 3. This is before the patching. This is the part of the game where when I know I'd be like, man, I got to chapter 3 and then I just couldn't do it anymore. And this is like my only real flaw I think in the game is you go from very linear to literally 90 right now.
Really?
Don't forget about the main quest. Way over leveled and kind of forget what you're supposed to be doing. You just think, I'll play something else.
Going back to the 3, is if this is your first time playing Final Fantasy 15, you will forget things.
Yes. By the side content, you will not remember what you're supposed to be doing.
But chapter 9 was so good. It's very confusing. I read a lot of maths as a kid, so I kind of a lot of Altissia very early. There is another rule in this game. Rule number 1, Final Fantasy, nothing to do with Fight Club or talking about it. Rule number 1 in this game is that being a jerk is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Oh, man, I haven't used that one yet. So, this is actually, like, life. If you're a jerk to people in the real world, they don't want to talk to you, but you get out of social interactions a lot faster, thus saving time. So basically, we're just a jerk to everyone. Like, look at Prompto, the cutest cinnamon bun on the planet. Is so very, very much. Come on, let's go see the chocobos. And I'm like, get a job, throw a football or something. But basically, what that does for me is it just keeps it's act time as saying yes. What it does is it keeps my quests tab in order. We're gonna drive to Lastalum, or that you think. I don't actually care much about the speedrun place. I actually pulled one over on GDQ. Y'all thought it was a speedrun.
Listen to some Nier music.
Yeah, we'll Superior, that's good. Now, I literally don't need anything else. I explicitly bought it earlier. I have the things that I need. Cocoa bean, sweet pepper, yes. Let me double check.
In fact, how's the run doing? To take a look at. I end up with all of my items sometimes and got here and realized, oh, I had one more drop than I thought. Look back over all of that and be sure of where you're at. And make adjustments as needed.
This game is super actually beginner. I've never had that happen before, but thanks for the free exploration push.
So, the trick is the game.
There is actually an unofficial Final Fantasy 15 cookbook. It was actually gifted a copy by a good friend of Stream Million. Experience that the speeds are very good, but they tend to be under-seasoned.
What do you want to see?
It is a really good Final Fantasy 15 cookbook. It exists. It's pretty, and I'm actually kind of sad that I wasn't alerted to it before it went together. Would have gladly helped. I probably would have demanded that I do the recipes in the run.
Or at least you got to put more seasoning in the. Like, come on.
And percent for no ring, we have world record like a 415. Any percent base game errors. Key should be right around there as well. It's lower, it's probably a little bit longer. The main categories are ring and no ring. I will be using ring for this tedious and risky, believe it or not.
I will say, go check out the leaderboards for the run of just that. But if you go check out the world record run, yes, if I remember right, which run it is, there is a moment where Eden or actually has it.
Yeah, there's no.
What it did and what would or wouldn't. So then got the world record time, and it was like, we're not.
Yeah, affect the run.
No, it's used in an area where you can't save or lose times. I'm the number 2 runner on the board. I'll answer a question related to that. And Barbie was the number 3 runner and take it away. Like
in the voice chat, as
Barbie
it
was cool with it. I was cool with it. I was like, yeah, dude. There is a 100% category of this run. It was actually complete for the first time. I'm happy to say I helped out without like very, very close to correct. Japanese Yakushin,
not very good.
25% run of this. It was right around the end. He recently took second place for me in any no ring.
Kills, you're even past place.
Not, it was
Don't
fine.
worry about it.
We're gonna didn't just be great. There's some people there. We don't really want to see them yet, so we're just gonna go. That'd be great.
That's strange. Why is it saying low band?
To do it.
There's a different spot sections where the while it could save maybe a little bit of time to drive it, because it's pretty much the car will drive itself. It makes it so that we very much can let the runner get up stretch. If you're new to the game, these are great moments to review notes. It's honestly just kind of great built-in
That was
spots.
weird. Sorry, I dropped for a second there.
Yeah. Right as you got up the stretch, your stream just started dying, and like, Kios?
I'm like looking at the timer going, okay, well, the clocks are still matching, so it's you. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we should have it back now.
High in, low out. Yo, what up, Denny? Shoutouts to one of the coolest dogs in Formula One, though, Roscoe. World champion Lewis Hamilton has an English bulldog with literally the droopiest, saddest face, and he just kind of plods around the Formula One paddock. Lance Stroll was the popular name who ate 2 people from his pit crew alive face first. I don't think Lance Stroll is capable of doing anything of the sort, unless his dad buys it for him. Bring back the Hulk? Oh man. So Railcon, where on your bingo card did you have Virtual Avatar Boys speed runs, Final Fantasy 15, and has in-depth discussions about Formula One drivers?
That one didn't make it onto the card. Didn't think it was likely enough. You know, wound up on the cutting room floor, unfortunately.
I am a huge WEC fan. I'm excited to see both Porsche and Audi back in hypercar, because the LMP1 category has been very, very pretty much dominated by dynasty after dynasty after dynasty with very little competition. So to see Toyota, Porsche, and Audi potentially jumping back in, all 3 of them, for the top category in racing, exhilarated. Beyond exhilarated.
I bet I can get a real good one.
I will ask, Rail, did you have it on your bingo card that the Final Fantasy 15 speedrun was really just the Final Fantasy 15 podcast about other topics while the game is in the background?
I kind of expected that, given that we were inviting Kios on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not as one square. All right, so what you're going to do is toss intelligent sports conversation. Just use that as your free square for bingo. Don't worry, though. We have a bunch of other options. You know, it's still early in the run. At some point, we'll get into a discussion about the cube rule and why food is the way it is.
Oh, no.
We can't do a Final Fantasy 15 run without the cube rule showing up at some point.
Look, I'm going to say it right now. Pop-Tarts are just sweet ravioli.
I mean, I think it's acceptable to call it a sandwich.
Technically, it would be a burrito. It's wrapped on all sides.
Yeah.
A hot dog is a taco.
Well, a hot dog is also a sandwich. Technically, a hot dog is pie, though, because it is 3 sides bread, 1 side open.
Should be a nice change
That's why
of
it's a
pace.
taco.
But a taco
Anyway,
is
I'm
only
gonna
2
test my luck.
sides.
And no, taco has 1 side open to air.
But the
bottom,
ends
left,
are
and
also
right are
open.
enclosed.
Yeah.
It's a dessert calzone. I'll allow it. It's also technically a dumpling. Pretty much there's a joke that, you know, everything is either a potato or it isn't. Realistically, most food is either a dumpling or it isn't. Anyway, welcome to the Rock of Rabbit.
Right.
We're at least 90% sure what it is. I'm going to grab these Delta Daggers literally just for the fact that it's 2,500 guilds just sitting out in the open, and currently I still need to come up with about 5,000 more.
Just in case you would have needed to sell that Mega Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the off chance, yeah.
Earth Gem sounds good. Preferably, I would have liked to have kept the Mega Phoenix because I use that for interesting encounters with Omega, as I call it, encounters of the turd kind. That was a joke.
We have now been joined by my cat.
Basically, the Omega fight is there will be some very tense frame perfect moments and a lot of complaining about hitboxes, frame rules, iframes, and all sorts of other things, but we'll save that for... What's our time right now?
We are currently at 107:04.
About 4 hours and 40 minutes from now.
We've been joined by Miu, by the way. She's keeping me from seeing the screen.
Nice. That's what cats are for. I have no idea where Andor is. Yes, my cat is named Marquis Halim Andor IV.
But do you believe
You didn't
his
think he
lies?
was a Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the ferret is named Freya Crescent.
That's it.
But do you believe your cat's lies, Kios?
No, and he knows he doesn't belong on the table, and he already had 2 chicky sticks. Dude, I'll go to bed at like 3 in the morning after having to push him off the bed for like the 3rd time, and then I'll wake up all groggy. And my morning routine is I'll grab the ferret, I'll throw on some sweatpants, I'll put the ferret in my pocket, we go out into the kitchen, turn on the hot water kettle, make some tea. And the second I get up and start moving toward the kitchen, Andor will go, meow! And, oh no, I made a boo-boo. Oh well, lose 15 seconds here. I mistimed that. He'll
Walking
climb
up
on
this
top
hill
of the
is a
couch
pain.
and start screaming at me to give him a chicky stick. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like no one loves these animals or cares for them. We haven't spent the entire past year at home together, giving them all sorts of attention. But yes, that is the ingredient I needed. Ketty or ginger. We'll use that to make stuff.
That's not how cats work. If you give them
Yeah,
more
I know.
attention, they will demand even more. There's no enough.
Ooh, that's so handy. This run just got very free.
Yeah.
So some of the items in this game are basically on like a table of RNG. Normally that item is either a tiny feather, shattered timepiece, or a glass gemstone. I'm just gonna grab these anyway because I'm already behind. So what I got there was the rare drop, the Fire Crest, which is a really cool accessory if you really care about what they do. The more important thing for me is that it's 5,000 gil very early on, which means my item shopping for chapter 6 and 7 just is basically out the window. It doesn't matter at this point. I did fail one of the checks for. Ooh, I got to be very careful here as well because I'm in a very different state. You know, I'm just gonna do it for safety because I brought an extra one just in case something weird happened. I failed the stamina burst check, so that's time loss on me. But I'm also just gonna skip right over here and skip a very, very long and awkward battle. I don't know if the game designers intentionally meant for you to be able to do that, but I do it and it saves like 3 minutes climbing Ravito. Yeah, what up, Artsy? Yeah, Pocket Ferret's the best. She's very wiggly and warm, but she's still a baby.
Miu's an old lady that just loves attention. And after a certain point in the day, she's like, "Okay, it is my lap time, and you will give me that
on
lap."
this run should be right around 6 hours. Unless anything weird happens, I'll be probably doing this faster than my current world record of 5 hours 54 minutes. It depends on a lot of variables. I mean, I could literally get what I call cranky Omega, where just nothing goes right and it's like a 12-minute fight as opposed to like 7. We'll see. I am not the Oracle. That's Luna Freya.
Hold our hike a moment.
So you were mentioning earlier about getting 49 of a particular element you were drawing. Is that like RNG, how much you get from each point?
Yes, it is a set rate. I believe without any alteration, it's between, I want to say like 31 and 39, or 32 and 38.
Watch your step,
You can get something called Elementalism, which basically ups it by 10. Which is super handy, but for me, my AP at one point was so tight, I just found a way to do it without having to use the extra 20 AP. Because the end goal of this route was to try and get point-blank Warp Strike. But as it turns out, I just don't need it. I just needed to get better at combat, realistically. That's because Noctis is not okay. him and Gerard Way have a solo show that got canceled because of the COVID. So I mean, we're socially distancing to set up for the MCR reunion concert. Shout outs to Destampify if he's in chat. I'm sorry.
Are you making people upset on purpose?
Am
Yes.
I mean, anyone can trade places. I was supposed to be in Japan and married last year, so I am a bit upset too.
Yeah.
The royal garments are actually very important. We will be wearing these to fight Omega, just because of the stat tweaking. The other outfit that you haven't seen me wear yet, I don't put it on until chapter 9, and that's going to be a little risky because it's kind of fly by the seat of my pants to get what I'm looking for. But the casual outfit with no jacket, while it doesn't really boost your stats in any way, it does do something, but it doesn't tell you. It increases your crit chance by like 25%.
Oh.
So, yeah. So basically, it just actually increases your damage, but not on a statistical basis. Yeah, and I basically just keep the experience bangle on Prompto for the entire run until chapter 11, and then I have to swap it back to Noctis. So that is our third royal arm. We did it, hooray. And now all we have to do is just drive back to Lestalem. If we remember, I had like about less than an eighth of a tank of fuel.
That's 4. That's the 4th royal
Well,
arm.
good news. The oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I stopped the car a little early. One good thing with this game is you don't have to stop at every parking spot to register it. And right at the edge of town in Lestalem, there's a parking spot, and it registered it.
Because we drove past it.
Yep, it's very handy, and thankfully, this route just kind of came together by itself when it came to like planning and driving and food, which was nice. That I didn't have to like try and galaxy brain how to make everything fit and feel good.
Yeah, sometimes it just works in RPGs. You're like working
Sometimes it
backwards,
does.
like, I gotta get all this stuff done. How am I gonna get there? And it's like, oh, I just have the money that I need. Okay.
Honestly, the galaxy brain thinking to this has been the AP routing.
Yeah, the AP routing and my my desire to. So, the other runner that does this has a faster time than me, but out of respect for having taken the rest of my like world records or places at one point, decided to just leave me with one, which I was okay with, and I respect him and know he could take it at any point. But with some of the new routing that I've done, this has the potential to actually be just as fast, if not faster, because of because of the new skips that have been added, but also because he takes about 2 minutes out of the run at one point, 2 to 3 minutes out of the run to go and grab Armageddon Unleashed. And it's a really good strat because technically it does make Omega faster as a fight, but you have to be very, very precise, and things can go very, very wrong very quickly unless you like are really on top of the fight. Whereas for me, the only thing I need to do is just consistently be in the right place and read the enemy pattern and movement properly. And I have like a 4 to 5 frame window, which is more than enough for me.
That's the plan. When you have time, we have
Final Fantasy 13 is one of the most intense speed runs, and I have so much respect for anyone that runs that game. It is just as hard, if not as hard as Final Fantasy 12. It's like dancing, but with your fingers. And even then, sometimes things just do not go right and refuse to go right.
There's so many like boss strategies in that game where you have to be really precise with your timing on like when you're doing certain things, and then you look at the notes and there's like these complex decision trees on like if the boss does this and you have to do this and like adjusting for all the RNG you get from the bosses. Like that game's wild.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like you've seen Dave run it because I know Dave used to run it here or there, and like. Even like that's one of those games like Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy 12, like world record I think is like a 450 something for Final Fantasy 13, but if you have like anything under like sub 6, everyone's like, yeah dude, that's a really good time.
Yeah.
Like for me, like Final Fantasy 12, we did that. I did TZA for you guys. Like world record is like a 5:42 or something. But like if you have under 7 hours, it's like, wow, your run was really good. You really get this game. Like a whole big ol' hour.
Yeah, I had like a passing understanding of 13, and then Dave became my housemate, and I learned more about 13.
You're like, ATB refreshes, tell me more. And then they start explaining, and it's like, please don't tell me more. Which is cool, because Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 13 both have a thing involving ATB reset and ATB refreshes. By the way, we are continuing the trend of being a jerk. Also, personally, I don't like Iris. There are so many rules in play. 1, she's very young. 2, we're engaged. 3, she's your best bro's sister. That's just like, dude, there's a dump truck full of red flags trailing right behind her.
True. I did not like it.
Davey needs more 13 runs. I don't think anyone needs more 13 runs. That's just cruel and unusual punishment.
I mean, he was relearning it, and then he decided to get back in 7.
Yep.
And is currently doing Cosmo Canyon skip, which is just
yeah, it's very, very tricky. I know the feeling.
So hard.
Know the feeling. As a on hold Nier Automata speedrunner, we can talk about tricks and frame perfect stuff all day, because Nier Automata only cost me 5 Xbox One controllers last year.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
Last year.
A few of them fell down out of my hand really, really hard
at a high velocity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete total accident.
Yeah, total accident.
It was just a weird gravitational anomaly, and it fell out of your hand real fast.
So weird.
Yeah, it's very weird, isn't it?
But to be honest,
I know you were
when those
angry. I
happened,
mean, it's
most
still
of those
very
controllers
weird.
were already dead anyway. Like, I would get 3 months out of an Xbox One controller. Like my A and B buttons would just literally be almost non-responsive from the amount of mashing and just how hard you push it.
And people wonder why I bought him an Xbox controller for Christmas.
frame perfect positioning and inputs at 60 FPS when most of the run is an average of 300 to 400 inputs a minute.
What was it you bought today?
I figured you needed a new one to break, so
yeah.
It's interesting. The button that always broke for me on Xbox controllers was R1.
Yep.
That one just, you get so many presses out of it, and then it becomes loose, and it doesn't always register when you press it.
That's one thing that some, like a bunch. So Youngblood, who's in chat now, and DSamp, who may or may not be in chat, they're like the resident Destiny 2 players of my community, and they both swear that the R3 and L3 buttons on PS4 controllers are like literally the worst, and I've had 0 issues whatsoever with them, and they've like both blown through like 3 or 4 controllers.
That makes you a living legend, huh?
Anyway, Iris is back. She's gonna give us a migraine.
You're welcome.
I don't like her. Anyway. Y'all can actually have your own opinions. This is just me memeing on it. Like, it's like the biggest joke ever. But anytime I run this game in like a charity event, like I will always put Iris as like the final photo, like donation incentive, just because I know people have opinions about it and they like to have their opinions heard. Anyway, we're gonna meet this guy again. We met him in chapter 1, but he's like, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, tell me more." So what I'm gonna do is just gonna save the game here.
We'll come back to it. It'll be fine.
I'm just gonna reload it because I'm just so enthused by his dialogue and his introduction that I have to see it again. I need to see it again. I need it. Actually, what I'm doing, for whatever reason, with a solid state drive is faster, but also it marks the flag that once you start this dialogue with Arden, it considers it finished already.
Yep.
But you need to wait for him to walk over to the car, so we just save in the middle of it, and we hit OK to interact with him, and the game's just like, oh, I guess you already did it, or whatever, because we marked it as, like, the quest is in progress, so, like, I guess it's done if you load back in. So we skip like a minute walk, a slow walk of Arden getting basically body blocked by your entire party, and you have to like move everybody out of the way, and it basically becomes a tangled mess if you're trying to do it quick. Underwhelming. I don't know about that. That's a hot take.
Which one? Underwhelming?
Arden.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I loved Arden as a villain.
To be fair, like I'm always open to hearing opinions about this game because I've literally heard every opinion on it. I've sat through like years of people telling me this was the worst game ever. It's not even a Final Fantasy. I mean, I think it does a good job of telling it what it is. On the first screen of the game, it's a game for first timers and fans alike. So it's gentle enough that if it's your first Final Fantasy or your first action RPG, it's a great introduction to it. It's very gentle.
Yeah.
It kind of gently nudges you along the way until you get into the main story, and it's like, all right, here's the main story.
It's not the greatest Final Fantasy game, let's be honest.
I
don't
think
think they were
Arden
trying
has
to
a
make
lot
it
of
the greatest
reason to
Final
be a
Fantasy.
very good
They
villain.
wanted to. I think that game is
feel like they
basically
just
just to
took
bring
Arden
more
and the concept of
fans
Arden,
in. I think that's what it
and
is.
that people didn't like that, and then they used that to make Emmett Selk in Final Fantasy 14, who everybody loves.
Yeah.
You know,
Final Fantasy VII fans
Yes.
in chat, we'll throw up a tune for you because we do have something important to do here.
Because they are pretty much the same type of villain, just they fleshed Emmett Selk out more.
As does his origin.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I am looking forward to getting into episode Arden here soon.
Yeah, episode Arden is pretty cool. The biggest issue with this game is it got pretty much like every super big title that everyone got hyped for. It got Cyberpunk. It got Witcher 3. It got forced out way too early. This game was not ready for release, but Sony was like, "We need you to pull the trigger," and Square Enix was like, "Okay."
Watch our backs the whole way.
Yeah.
I hate companies
It's
like
one of
this.
those things. Like, I agree that
Well,
it
because
would
of
have been
their
great
fucking money.
if they didn't break up the main story, but to a certain extent, it also makes sense because it is kind of like a little individual side quest. Arden says not to pass him. I'm not a very good listener, as you all have probably ascertained by now. I'm going to honk my horn, too, to show my superiority to him. Yeah! NASCAR. You were playing Daytona earlier. That is a very good bump draft we just pulled off.
I think Casa just hit on something very much there. It's that Arden wasn't a violent villain, and I think a lot of people expect the villains to be this very violent thing versus
with an actual reason.
this mastermind behind the scenes pulling strings and making sure things line up in his plan.
It is sort of like Final Fantasy. You kind of expect the shoe to drop, and for at some point the villain to say, "I'm going to end the world because reasons." Like the sort of the end goal that most people expect from villains in Final Fantasy at this point, you know?
Yeah. I think it's a very kind of beautiful way to approach Arden, though, to have him.
Yeah.
be
Like,
that
the easiest way to pare it down is just it's Kefka, but with an actual reason. Because they kind of have the same idea to plunge the world into chaos and darkness. But Kefka just kind of does it because Kefka is, well, Kefka, and Arden does it because he's been horrendously slighted his entire life.
His unceasing
her long life.
I see you in chat, Sharky.
Makes you wonder what it's like down there at his
Been in chat.
But this is another stab at the driving simulator comment. Actually passing Arden here in chapter 4 saves us about 5 to 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to as the car skip earlier.
Yep. So basically what happens is cars are treated very strangely in this game. If you come within like 200 feet of another vehicle and like you're crossing its axis, Ignis will literally just stop the car. Unless you're stuck on a one-way road on world record pace running this game approximately a year and a half ago, and the car just slams into you, and then you sit there for 20 seconds, and then the car resets. Weird things happen.
Where'd that clip it?
But isn't it
Yeah.
also like when you get in front of Arden, you can actually drive faster than when you're behind him. Like, it caps your
correct.
speed when you're following Arden.
The big thing is turns. For some reason, they don't like turning in this game. You come to like basically a complete stop in the middle of the turn, which is a terrible thing to do with a rear-wheel drive vehicle. I'm just gonna toss it out
what
there.
the heck?
for my race fans. Yeah.
Read a book. It'll take your mind off it.
Oh.
Eyes on the road for now.
But yeah, again, this is like weird little optimizations in the run that we found out. I believe I started messing with it and then like didn't really notice it because I was still not super consistent with runs like I am now. And Hawk Snow, the Japanese runner, was like took the idea and did it in chapter 3. And it ended up that his drive from the start of chapter 3, leaving the gas station in Cawthis, to where we stopped for the sword in up near Ravito, was about 5 to 6 seconds faster, just taking that one inside line on that big like curving turn that we took into Lestalem. And I just applied it to the rest of the route, and it just kind of saves a couple seconds here, a couple seconds there. But when you're dealing with a game that's under 4.5 hours long, but in the last 10 minutes of the run, you can either save 2 minutes or lose 3 minutes. Every second helps, realistically. Yep. Arden hit the car. That was intentional. It literally moved me an extra 2 feet. Every little bit helps. This process brought to you by the thought process of Nier, where 1/10 of a second is the difference between living and dying.
So is the honking like stopping Arden from yelling at you from getting ahead of him, or like?
No, it's a force of habit. So normally what happens is during this drive, I like inconspicuously always have to go to the bathroom, or I'm hungry, or I'm out of tea. And I live in a very small studio apartment, so I can hear my TV. But I hit the horn button because I can interact with the controller. And if I don't hear the horn, it means that I've gone too far and my controller has disconnected and I need to move closer.
Oh.
There's no other button you can hit that like I can audibly hear across the apartment without like jacking the volume up that doesn't affect our travel speed or direction. So it's just kind of a force of habit thing that I do now, and it probably annoys about 90% of the people that watch me do this run.
I find it highly amusing, and that might just be me.
Well, I mean, isn't that bonus points if you get to know your viewers with it?
I mean, they exist to literally torture me, so yeah, I try and pay them back as much as I can.
So that's why you torture me in other ways, because you know the honking doesn't bother me.
Does suffering count as plot? Honk boosting was just a... no, it's my personal tribute to Untitled, the Goose Game.
Yes.
What a great game.
That game is fantastic.
But what?
It is still on my to-play list.
You okay? Well, thank heavens
it
you're
is
safe. Is there a way
very,
back
very
up?
good. Do recommend.
It's just unbridled fun is what it
Gonna
is.
see where it leads. You two try to get down.
Ray Zero says yes. Someone else has seen it.
Be careful.
I became interested in Untitled Goose Game because the first thing I saw of it was a friend of mine actually turned his console to I think Australia so that he could play it a little early. And I was watching him play it and just the utter mayhem that he was able to cause, and I was like, I love everything about this.
You know what's the best part?
Sorry, go ahead.
So the best part is if I was a goose, the game would be basically me.
Yeah. that
game
tracks.
already is basically you.
I am an agent of chaos, and I am God Emperor of NASCAR.
So the way I
It's like
explain
all
it
of
to
my
people
friends.
is that like Goat Simulator was made with a similar idea, but there was no direction. Just it was an open sandbox, have fun, causing chaos, and it gets old after a while. But Goose Game is still going around causing chaos, but with a purpose, and it sticks
like
around for
Guided.
just the right amount of time, and then it ends. It's a really good experience.
I have to do some
It's been on my
AP
list
farming.
since
I
my
need
friend
to.
did that.
This is me reminding myself of routing changes I've made on the fly in this run that I just haven't bothered putting down yet.
What now?
When we say there are new strats in this run, we do mean the strats are
I haven't tested
You know.
them. I literally thought of them like Saturday mid run. You guys should try this. Geese are evil, man. I've seen some very, very angry geese.
I lived in Ohio for most of my life, so close enough to have Canadian geese around, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you don't mess with geese.
No.
I live in Pennsylvania, and I won't dox where you live because that's incredibly rude, but we share a fellow convenience store that has a goose as its logo.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wheezy.
I'm far enough away from you guys for all of that nonsense.
Wawa
Used to be closer.
Pennsylvania is one of the best states to live in because we have access to both Sheetz and Wawa.
Yeah, we've got a Sheetz and a Wawa like a few blocks apart from my house. It's great.
Dude, do you ever get the 2 for a buck glizzy deal at Sheetz?
I haven't done that one yet. No.
Oh, it's so good.
Is that a strong recommendation?
So my dad and I used to work together, and some days that was our lunch. We'd go to Sheetz. I'd take like $5, go to Sheetz, get 4 hot dogs, 2 for a buck, 2 medium fries.
I couldn't forget it if I tried.
Living like a king.
What about it? I ain't saying that you've forgotten, but you gotta know something.
I live in southeastern PA, like Philly, and there's a Sheetz, I think like 20, 30 minutes from me. If you head out
Oh my
northwest, I think towards like Orwigsville.
Ah, this is so hard.
That's the closest, boy.
The king with our lives. That's the way it's always been. I've embraced my duty, and I take pride in it.
Rail has
just
some
do
of
a
the most
page
beautiful
ago.
hair I've ever seen.
I'm so sad.
Do any more than that. I just got
The
one
color's
to
like
check
almost completely gone because where I live, it's definitely not safe to go to a salon, and I'm not good at coloring it myself.
Hey, Z, how are you? Actually, I have.
We might have a product that might help you out with that.
Yeah.
Hit me up after the
am
run.
risking it, sadly. I have to. Like, I'm at the point where, thankfully, the place I go to is very good about their safety and restrictions. So I'm gonna have pink hair now and look like Link.
Yeah,
from
it's
Breath
more
of
than
the
just that the area that I'm in has been very bad about controlling it. So like, it doesn't really matter how much people are taking precautions here. It's just you can't trust anywhere here at the moment.
I dye my own hair, and I might have something. It's really simple, really easy to use. So that's what I said. Like, hit me up after the run. I'll send you all the information.
Yeah, sounds
All right, whoever had hair care advice on your bingo card, speak up. I have a 3D printed Emil glow-in-the-dark keychain just for you. And ooh, I haven't had this happen in a while. It's not going to matter. It's just a silly little time loss. It actually is going to work out better for me here. Magitech Booster 2, that means minimum of 3, which is good. If I can get one more, we'll be in even better shape, and Aranea will be completely free. I still have a chance to farm later. So the AP routing in this game is so tight that I actually needed that cast to not kill all of those guys. I needed the extra 3, and I need to grab 2 more AP down here.
Hey, I'm here.
Ooh, somebody in chat only had nail care advice and a hair care. So close.
Yep. Denny doesn't have hair, but that's okay. He's beautiful and bald.
What the hell is it you want?
I mean, I could give nail care.
I could probably help you out.
I mean, I have in the past written up paragraphs on information regarding nail polish and the like, including instructional videos. So if you need nail care advice, I've got you.
Look, Hateful Hero is someone that grew up in the rave scene of the late 90s and was around the Kool-Aid hair dye stuff. Oh man, that does an absolute number on your hair. But yeah,
it does not last long at all.
Either it doesn't last or it lasts literally forever, and everything is permanently stained.
We're sitting ducks here.
But now I'm excited to have pink hair. I haven't done it in a while, and my chat was like, "It's gonna be pink." They voted and said it's gonna be pink, and I said, "All right, it's going to be pink."
Yeah, I miss my beautiful pink blue ombre. That was nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking actually like my avatar, it'll be like pink and blue somehow.
Dad, I'd like to point out that I recently dyed my mom's hair purple, so I got you.
You have feet care. I think that will also fall under the category of nail care. All right, so again, we mentioned this earlier in the run, how being a jerk is the fastest way to get through this game. The other thing that I've been using a lot in this is not doing anything is faster. I skipped a bunch of QuickTime events by just intentionally failing them, and it saves almost 30-40 seconds throughout this scenario.
Why can't I see?
There is going to be a little bit of tech here. I'm going to try and farm some AP via Warp Strikes, and I'm also going to attempt to manipulate Gladio to instantly spawn on us by very precise camera positioning and positioning of Noctis.
Yep.
Shouldn't be too difficult. If I get it, I get it. I don't, it's like I lose 10 seconds or whatever. I'm going to be timing this very carefully to follow over, and I have to grab the rest of my party after dodging this punch. All these attacks
and a lot of
are
this
triggered.
fits in. A lot of these fits in with the general rule of